Hello, loved ones. Thank you for joining us today. And if you're new to the channel, then welcome to the family. Make sure you subscribe so that you can be part of the congregation. And if you want to be part of the conversation, then please shout out in the comment section below. If you are excited about a certain Married at First Sight couple, see the timestamps in the description box. And stay until the end so that you can get fuel you can use, which is a spiritual truth to help you through your week. Welcome to Fueled by Intentions, where we talk about faith, family, finances, fitness, and fun. Sponsored by Bynum's Business Solutions, where the right fit is made simple. We specialize in tips, tools, and strategies designed to help you achieve your financial health so that you can take control of how you spend your money so that you can spend more time with your family, friends, and doing the things you love. So let's jump right into the video. Hello, John. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. I'm just excited as ever to discuss marriage at first sight.
I know each episode brings its own unique drama. So let's just get started. Let's start like we always do, reviewing the episode title. The episode was called The Worst Wedding Party Ever. Do you think that the episode lived up to the title's name?
Like always, I always say it's about one couple, and one couple lived up to the title's name, and that was KATINA and OLAJAWON. That is the couple.
Yes, and I am starting to agree with you that they focus on one couple, because personally, I didn't think it was the worst dinner party ever. I thought that it ended pretty well. Like, you have seen some drag out, dinner parties. I mean, I watched Real Housewives, so you can see glasses thrown and everything like that. I thought I was gonna see something like that, but it was pretty calm. Only thing I don't know is if they had dinner, because when KATINA got up and said, "I'm ready to go,"
yes,
it looked like the plates were empty. So it might have been the worst dinner party ever, because if you go to a dinner party and then you don't get to eat dinner, I don't know, that might be pretty bad. So I am going to give it to Lifetime this week, because if they weren't able to eat dinner at that dinner party, then it was the worst.
I think what happened during the episode really had cut their appetites anyway.
Yes. All right, so we are gonna begin with our first couple, Noe and Steve. What did you think about them this week?
Well, I see Steve, he's talking to his friend and about, his situation with Noe, and his friend is advising Steve that, hey man, you need to take baby steps, right? And Steve is saying, it seems like Noe is, wants me to be a Mr. Mom, and I don't want to be a Mr. Mom, So they're talking about that. And then Noe, when she talks to her friend, she talks about how's everything going, and Noe says, 80%, that's love and good, and 20% is no job and bad. So the no job continues to come up because Noe is still frustrated about Steve's unemployment situation, or not willing to take a full-time job, a structured full-time job. So that seems to be the plague of that relationship.
Yes, I enjoyed the very first scene that came on when they were standing at the refrigerator, and she was like, well, I need to move up the things because you don't drink. Like, is this yours? Did you drink this? Is this still yours?
Yes.
In my household, my husband, he has more self-control than I do when it comes to sugary drinks or juices or sodas. So he will open a soda, he will drink some of it, put it in the refrigerator, and then I will go drink the rest. Because if I'm gonna drink it till it's gone, and then that way I won't drink a whole of anything. So every time, and that is how we do the drinks in our house. He will get a soda, he will start it off, I'll go in the refrigerator, I'll finish it, and he never complains. He never complains about it, and he just lets me do that. So I really do appreciate him for that. So I was just laughing when they were talking about the refrigerator and the drinks being left in there. I was like, I can relate. And then I really enjoyed Steve talking to his brother Jeff. When they were playing basketball, they didn't miss a hoop. They never missed that. I'm like, oh my God, are they gonna miss one? No, they never did miss. I'm like, okay, you know, maybe he got some game in him and his brother, because neither one of them, I couldn't tell who was shooting. Could have been editing, but I'm gonna say that they did not miss a shot. I could not tell if Steve was complaining about being the house person or if he was just reciting what happens. And he was going through his day and he almost told us what he did outside of the household, because it sounds like he was saying then he does his thing, what he needs to do. And it sounded like he was going to tell us what that is, but his brother interrupted him and then he didn't go back to it. So I was like, oh man, what, like, tell us your day. Are you consulting? Like, what are you doing? Are you work? You know, because he sounded like the household duties is getting in the way of him doing whatever, but it sounded like a complaint. I didn't like it at all, because you're the one who chose this. Last week you was asking her, well, what's gonna happen if I go back to work and you gonna have to take up some of the household chores? So that is the life you signed up for, and that is the life you've encouraged her to accept. So personally, I don't want to hear any complaints about it. His brother then told him when they have arguments or something, disagreements, and I love how he put it, disagreements, that he should find the smallest thing and try to change that, you know, keep getting better.
Yes.
So I think I understood that, because I'm like, sometimes you can't choose the smallest. You got to just, hey, you know, this is what you need to change, if it's big or little or small. But I understand the concept that his brother was saying. And when Steve was all upset because Noe goes to her friends, they kind of figure it out, and then they figured out together without allowing him to figure it out with her. I thought the advice that his brother gave him was so valuable. It's just gonna take time. I mean, they just been knowing each other for a month. Of course, she's been knowing her friends longer. It's just gonna take that time and that building of trust. But I think it will happen for him and her, because when she was talking to her friend and she was talking about the 80-20%, one thing that she said is when they have a disagreement, that he always comes and wants to reconcile it. And he is always the one who wants to try to find a solution and solves it, which I thought that was very manly. I don't know if a lot of men, I think that's taking care of your household as a man. I thought, wow, that is amazing. And that she recognizes that. And I think if he continues to do that, that's gonna build her trust, where she can come to him, and maybe it'll be less and less her going to her friends and coming to him more. You know, I really did like that in the conversation that she had with her friends. And then when they did their 1 month anniversary, I liked the gift that Noe gave to Steve better than I liked the gift that Steve gave to Noe, because I think that Noe really, you know, she listened to him, observed that he really wanted this camera, and he had bought another one, but it wasn't the one that he was gonna get, you know. And so to give somebody something that they really enjoy, I think that is just wonderful. And they do take a lot of pictures. You see them always taking selfies. So maybe that's just like his little habit that he really likes to do. And somehow he either develops or does something with the pictures later. And then him giving her the leopard skin, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I like that he considered her dog and also got him something that matches too, so that they all can be one big family. I don't know I wear black 98% of the time. And my husband, he is so different than me. He is a color person. So he'll buy me something that's a really bright color. Like he got me this bright orange jacket, and I wear it, but not often, because that's not my comfort. You know, I'm not comfortable in bright orange because I don't want people to look at me. I like my black where I just kind of blend in. So we'll see. But I like the activity because it sounded like he was gonna have her tour Boston. And I love going on tours. And he took in consideration that she hadn't been there very long. She may not have seen the city. And it seemed like that they toured during the day and then they went on the ride at night. And then he pointed out a couple of other things that they may be able to take in and enjoy. And then I did love them at the group dinner where, Noe said not only does she like him, but not only does she love him, but she likes him. And I think that it is awesome when you like your partner, because love, that's a feeling, but when you like somebody, you're enjoying them, you're enjoying being around, you're enjoying their company. So I really did love this couple this week. And on the boat ride, when they were talking about, I like that Noe brought back up the conversation about what she needed is a plan. And I felt Steve getting a little defensive while I tried to tell you about this plan, and you don't have time. But I mean, let's stop right here. Let's just talk about we alone, we're together. I'm not focused on my job. Just give me the plan. But I like how she phrased it this time, because she said what you're gonna do about work and the finances in our household. So she didn't stress getting a job. So I think that now she is kind of like, okay, I'll be open, but let me hear the plan of what type of work and how you're going to get work to do. And honestly, because it's such a simple conversation and I can't see Steve not having that with her, I'm wondering if it's production at this point. I'm wondering if production is like, look, y'all getting along too well. You need a storyline. We need to keep this money thing going. I'm like, because why would it just keep coming? Why would it just, I don't know. That just seems like it could be solved really quickly. So I'm not sure why it continues.
For Noe, she had mentioned something to her friends when she talked to her girlfriend. She said, yeah, 80-20. And she said, well, that's great. 80% love and 20% no job. But she said, love is the most important thing, And I said, wow.
Basically, what I got from that is that she was saying that she would say no on decision day if they can't reconcile that. Is that what you got?
Yes. And remember, Noe is the one that's really 3 kids. It has to be done this way. It has to be done that way. And she's pretty rigid when it comes down to what she wants. So this job situation is really something that she really wants. So I think that she may forego this love for more structure. So we're going to see. We're going to see.
Well, looks like we're ready for our next couple, JASMINA and Michael. What did you think about this couple this week?
Oh my God! What can I not say about this couple? First I'll talk about Michael. When he was talking to his friend, and he said that marriage was a roller coaster, and he realized that JASMINA had indicated to him that he was not putting much effort, or she didn't think he was putting much effort into their marriage. And he was wondering what was going on, because he was putting a lot of effort, at least from his standpoint. He thought he was putting a lot of effort into the marriage. But he said what he's come to recognize is what he thinks is effort and what she thinks is effort are 2 different things. So he says, well, he's going to start paying more attention to her and what she says, and put more effort in that particular area. And that's exactly what he did. That's exactly what he did. I like the fact that Michael went and he realized that JASMINA thought that their most important day that they've had since they've been married was their wedding day. That was the happiest day of their entire relationship on Marriage at First Sight. So what he decided to do, which I thought was just beautiful and amazing, is he decided to recreate that day. And he really did. He took them back to the table where they were, took them back to the wedding site, and he recreated it, and it was beautiful. And then he went beyond that. He said, okay, now let's read our wedding vows. And they read their wedding vows, and he says, now let's rewrite our wedding vows, okay? Because now we know each other. Before we didn't know each other, but now we know each other. So let's rewrite our wedding vows. And when they rewrote their wedding vows and stuff like that, it was beautiful, because JASMINA indicated that she was now going to stop fighting Michael all the time, stop being so combative, and start working toward making their marriage better, working toward, making the marriage better. And I thought that was really good. What I like about it is JASMINA had indicated that the second or the recreated wedding day was better. She felt better on the recreated wedding day than she did during the wedding day. I mean, he had done a grand job of doing it, and she acknowledged it and everything. And Michael looked at this as being now the real, it's like they had just got married and now they're really starting their wedding life off on a good footing. And so JASMINA just basically said, okay, let's see if you can keep it up. But he vowed to keep it up. So I could see Michael working toward their future, but I still have reservations in reference to JASMINA, because Michael's looking toward the future, but JASMINA may have already made up her mind about the future, and that future may not be of her saying yes on decision day. So we'll have to wait and see.
This was my favorite couple this week. When JASMINA and Michael are on and getting along, they are cutest couple. I'm just like, come on, you guys are so cute together. Can you just get it together and make this thing work? You're a beautiful couple. Make it work. I just want to get in there and just tell them, come on. I really want you guys to make it really bad. And in the beginning on the scene when they were getting ready to go walk the dog, I love when people just do the simple things together, because sometimes it's not about the grandiose things. It's the simple things. And I think that promotes just a longing to be together and a more understanding when you could just do those simple things together. I can't remember where, but somewhere in the conversation in this, they mentioned that he mentioned it to his friend, that now they're having the little talks. So last week she says, I just need for you to talk to me more about the little things. And we, talking about lunch at work and stuff like that. And he said he understands the value in that now. And that is true. Just those little conversations that help you to connect just little by little. I think that's great. And I think it is showing in their relationship. It was so funny because when he had his friend came over and they both had the orange juice. I think it was orange juice or water, but they had these little bitty plastic cups. I'm like, man, come on now. I would have had to drink 2 or 3 of them. That cup is too small for me. I understand the plastic because we do plastic plates and we rather buy them than wash dishes. So I understood the plastic, but they were tiny, tiny, tiny cups. I too enjoyed that Michael said that he was going to try to look at what JASMINA needed instead of what he thought she needed. I think that's a revelation that we all should have. But I did not like his comment about she believes that he is not putting enough effort in, which she did say that. But I think from what I see, he's putting in more effort than she is. And I just would hope that she would become aware of what she needs to do and the changes that she needs to make and the effort that she needs to put in it, because I just think that she is not aware. But I really love that. I actually was convinced on this episode, maybe they have never been my couple to make it, because I just feel oh no. But this has been a great episode. Last week was a great episode. So I don't know, I saw some light, and I love that he recreated their wedding day. And I love the morning when he made her breakfast and she came out and she was just like, oh my God, you know how I feel about presentation. And it looked beautiful, even with the little flowers kind of sprinkled around. And then I think that when they read their wedding vows, they both had a revelation that, you know what, we ain't kept none of this. So Michael suggested that they write them over. And surprisingly, JASMINA accepted the idea that Michael put forth. I was like, oh my, and she didn't fight him.
Yes.
She just said, okay, we gonna now write in our journals. Even though I thought you were writing in our journals last week, we're gonna write in our journals. So I was really glad that she allowed Michael to lead. And I think because that went so well, maybe she will gain some more trust in him and let him lead continuously instead of just in this activity. Because I do think he did a really, really good job. I'm wondering how long she had her eyes closed, because he was like, come on, close your eyes. But like, did she have her eyes closed in the car? Did she not know what neighborhood they were in? But I think that that is a sign of trust when you are going to allow somebody to lead you. I loved everything about the dinner. I even love the violinist or the instrument player that he had and their little dance at the end. I loved it, and I love the vows. But the only thing I say about that is they did not keep the first ones. So I don't know if I trust them to keep the second one, because she vowed to give 100% of herself. She vowed to not cut him off. She vowed to make him create a safe space, to make him feel valuable and wanted, and to treat, and I think one of them vowed to treat each day like decision day, and then they also affirmed that at the group dinner. And I just saying to myself, man, God, please, if you can do what you say you're gonna do, if you will do what you say you're gonna do, this will be a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful marriage. I'm just hoping that they will keep their vow. Michael said that he would give 110%, that he would talk with her and not at her, and he would treat each day like decision day. And I didn't really know what that meant. I don't know if that means like just gonna take it really seriously. Like, I mean, because I don't know about how they feel about that day that's gonna make them treat each other better up to that day. But I get it. You're just saying, hey, you're gonna put everything into it and try to be the best you can do, like as if, you know, every day you have to make a decision about your relationship, which you do every day you do. We see what happened to Alyssa and Chris when they made a different decision on a different day. So I do like the intent and purpose behind it. And then at the group dinner, JASMINA admitted that she needed to work on her communication. Now, mind you, in the JASMINA style, she didn't say that I need to work on my communication. She said, we all need to work on our communication. And we're working on it. But I'm going to take that as a victory, as if she is owning it and understanding that she too needs to work on her communication. She has such a fun personality. She always puts fun into it. Even when she said in the vows that I'm going to trust you in life and in the kitchen. You know, she always has that sense of humor, and they do laugh together a lot. So I'm just hoping that this is the start of a brand new relationship. I too enjoyed Michael's picture. I love word pictures. When he said we're on a roller coaster and we're going up and down, but neither one of us got off. You didn't get off. You could have got off. And I really did enjoy that. I enjoyed everything about this couple this week. And I just hope and pray. I mean, I don't want to pray about it because it's already happened, but I feel like I want to pray about it. But since the decisions are already made, it seems kind of irrelevant to pray about it. But I'm going to hope that they make it and say yes on decision day and have a happy, healthy marriage. And I love that they ended it off by lighting the candle. And I guess this is some type of special candle that they have, that when things are going good, that they're going to light the candle, which she alluded to in her vows, because she said, I'm going to light up your life like you light that candle every night, you know? And I love her sense of humor. So I hope they make it.
Yeah, I'm hoping as well. I think they make a great couple. So I think that they have what it takes to go all the way. So it's up to both of them.
All right. Well, we are on to our next couple, Lindsay and Mark. What did you think about this couple this week?
I found this interesting one for this week. I think that Mark did a good job in terms of celebrating their 1 month anniversary. But you know, it all starts off though kind of bad from the standpoint that it seems that Mark has lost his job, and Mark's identity is basically tied to his job, and Lindsay doesn't understand that. So Lindsay tells Mark, okay, you don't have to rush in trying to find a new job. You can take a break and just concentrate on our marriage. And Mark says, oh no, I got to go and find me a job, because, you know, Mark is a man, you know, and, you know, he doesn't want to be basically his wife being the breadwinner, the sole breadwinner, even on a temporary basis. So he letting her know, no, I take responsibility of this. I take my position in this house very seriously. So I got to go back and find me a job as quickly as possible. So I think Lindsay failed to understand the significance of that. But no, Mark was determined that, no, I have to go back and find me a job. And Mark, you know, we see Mark with his friend, and his friend just happens to be, this time, Chris, who was married with Alyssa on Marriage at First Sight. So Chris is making his cameo as Mark's friend. And so Chris takes Mark to a plant shop, because Mark knows that Lindsay loves plants. And so they go and they find what would be the perfect plant to give Lindsay for her 1 month, for their 1 month anniversary. And Chris helps them find a plant, and then find the rocks that have certain meaning to go with the plant, so that probably Lindsay would recognize and stuff. So that was pretty good. And then what we'll see is Chris asks Mark, well, how's it going now? Mark tells Chris that Lindsay quickly will say that they're done. And he says he's never in the relationship, he's never said, I'm done. You know, even under heated conditions, he would never. So the fact that she says it so easily, you know, has him very, very cautious on how their relationship is going to end up, because she can use that "I'm done" so easily. So Mark says, you know, we'll just have to wait and see how everything goes in terms of how their relationship is going to end in terms of decision day, whether it's going to go past decision day or whether it's going to end on decision day. Another thing that Mark did, well, when he presented the gift to Lindsay, the plant, I mean, she loved it. She loved it. I mean, she loved it. And what Mark did, which I thought was very, very romantic, is he planned a getaway for them in the wilderness, and they were to stay in a teepee, and I thought that was pretty good, and she thought that was nice and romantic. But one thing that Mark did is, as he was making a fire, he kept blowing it. She was saying, what are you doing? Well, I got to keep it going. I got to keep it going. So she asked him, well, how many times have you went out camping? And he said, this was my first time. And it showed by him blowing air into the fire to keep the fire going. So, but she appreciated the effort, that it was real romantic. So she appreciated the effort. So I thought that was good. So all in all, I thought that the anniversary month celebration for Lindsay and Mark went well.
Yes, I was so shocked when it came on and he said that he needed to come back after filming. I wanted him to go into that a little more, because I want to know, like, were you not doing your job, or were you getting there late? Were you taking off too many days? Are they really gonna take you back if you want to go back? Because, you know, and maybe that is one of the reasons why he was like, I gotta look for me a job, because he probably is thinking, hey, I gotta look for me a job to see if I can find a job, because if not, then I need to go back. You know, you keep your options open, but if I can't find a job, I'm gonna go back. So it sounded like he could go back. I don't know if he was just saying that to save face or not, but I really want to hear a little more details about as to how this job situation and the termination kind of happened, and what the employer's perspective is on it, or maybe that's just me because I'm nosy. But I did not like Lindsey's response because I think that she needs to go and get some advice from Michael. Because Michael said that he wants to understand JASMINA the way that JASMINA understands it and not what he thinks she means. And I think that is what's happening to Lindsey and Mark. For one thing, I think she doesn't have a clue and she doesn't listen and she wants her own way. So that's one problem. Because when he said he wanted to get a job and then she said, well, what are you saying? You don't care about me or kids? Or he didn't say that at all. That was not even in his vocabulary. He said, we don't have any kids right now. So of course that's not an option. But she doesn't get it. She doesn't get it. She wants to force his way. And also, if I was Mark, I would be like, there is no way I'm not going to have a job after this show ends because I'm not going to have to depend on you. Because,
that's right.
You know, we see how she does. She will throw that up in his face and, you know, like kind of like make it backlash. So if I was him, I would not want to depend on Lindsey. I'm like, you know what? Let me go get some welfare right quick or something. Because, you know, if you work, you can get that welfare to tide me over. But I would prefer to do that than to have to depend on Lindsey when this gig is over, since he is getting paid for Married at First Sight at this time. I did like to see Chris because, you know, I like Chris. He's a really nice guy. And I like the relationship that they have built. I love that Mark really wants to do something nice for Lindsey. He wants her to feel cared about and wants her to know that he's been listening. I just wish that Lindsey felt the same way and that she would listen and try to reciprocate that. I feel like it's one person in each marriage who is unaware and the other person is trying so hard, and then the person who's not trying is the problem. So I think that for this relationship, it's Lindsey. She is the problem, but she is unaware. But I like that he put so much effort into it. He went to somewhere that he thought that she would like. And it was so funny when Chris said, do you want to get the stone libido? And he was like, no, we ain't getting that. We got enough of that. He's like, I do not want to hype Lindsey up any more than she already is. And personally, I don't think that he has a great memory, because he said that he's never said that he's leaving, and she says it all the time so easily. But then they showed the clip of the fight that they had at the bowling alley, and he said, because if you're going to be like that, then this is not going to work. That's the same thing as saying that I'm leaving. So just because you didn't use those words, the meaning was the same. And just like you don't like how she tells you that, I think that's what triggered her at the bowling alley. She could get triggered by anything, but I think that the feeling of abandonment for anybody is just so hard to hear. So I can't wait till he watches it back. And of course they had the clip right in there together. So maybe he'll catch it that he actually did say that to her. I did like that he took her camping, something that she's enjoyed, that he's really not into. I love that they made the like outdoor pizza, and I love that she made the little comment like maybe this is kind of like an example of our relationship, because the pizza was good but it was all kind of flimsy because they had a hard time cooking it. So I really like that. And I like that he verbally told her his love for her and wanted to make her feel special. But of course, you know, Lindsey thinks she deserved it. And when he's tearing up about the part that he's played, you know, he's taking accountability. But I think she sees that as if she's been perfect and she hasn't played a role. And I'm just like, I wish she would have reciprocated that and reflected upon herself. And when she read her vows, reflected, you know, because that's what they were doing, watching their videos and reading their vows. But of course, Lindsey has no clue. At the dinner, I thought that Lindsey conducted herself fairly well. There was no blowout or explosiveness, but I did not like her calling KATINA a bad name, in my opinion. I don't think that that was nice at all. And you can make your point without that. And you already know that you have an issue with her, so you might want to tread lightly. And the only reason KATINA didn't snap back is because she was so confused and disoriented from her own situation that she didn't have time to deal with Lindsey. But overall, I thought that they had a good time. I think Lindsey should really do her best to make this work with Mark, because he is willing to be that man that she needs, actually, whether she realizes it or not. And I think that he would treat her like she wants to be treated, but only if she can rein it in and will they have a great marriage going forward? But when the one person doesn't see that they're the problem, it's very hard. So, but I did enjoy watching this couple this week. One other thing that I was glad to hear is when Mark was talking to Chris, and Chris said, "Last time I saw you was at the bowling alley." Mark revealed that Lindsey had apologized, and he said that she said she was sorry that next day in their interaction. He said it was tense for a minute. They went home, they went to sleep, but the next day they got up and it was still a little tension, and then she apologized. I wish we would have seen that, but I know the cameras are not there all the time, but I'm really glad to hear that she apologized, because that really did bother me that we didn't get to see that when he was taking so much accountability.
I agree. And there's another moment where Mark is tearing up when he reviews the hard life that Lindsey experienced. So I don't know what Lindsey has experienced throughout her life, but it must have been something pretty difficult, because Mark teared up because he said when he read his wedding vows, he had promised to protect her, and he didn't feel that he had done a good job in terms of protecting her feelings and guarding her feelings and upholding her in that particular regard. So he said that he was going to try to do a better job of that. So Mark is going to be the better man and try to help his wife as much as possible.
I cannot believe it that we are moving on down to our last couple, KATINA and OLAJAWON. What did you think about that couple this week?
Well, you know what? It starts out that, as we know, this is 1 month anniversary for our married couples, and this time KATINA planned the anniversary, and she took OLAJAWON out on a pier, I guess you could say, and they got in a gondola. I mean, it was really romantic, and OLAJAWON felt it. He felt it. He even told her that it was really romantic, and he said, "You know what, KATINA, I'm feeling you. I am feeling you." And that was one of the biggest compliments that he had played to KATINA. So I mean, he really said, that he was a difficult person to understand, and he felt that KATINA really understood him. So that was a great compliment that he gave to KATINA. So I mean, they were really feeling good and stuff like that, and it was really romantic. And at that time, I just said, "Oh, girl, you've won. And then the dinner came. And when it came down to asking OLAJAWON, he blew his lid. He said that the chemistry that they have, he can't determine whether this chemistry is romance or is it friendship. He was having a difficult time with what the chemistry setting was with him and KATINA, whether it was romance or friendship. And KATINA didn't know what he was talking about, but he was really angry and upset in front of all the crowd. OLAJAWON even voiced, "Do you want me to tell everybody? Do you want me to tell everyone?" And KATINA's, "I don't know what you're talking about. But no, I don't know what you're talking about, so I think you should talk to me first privately, so I can know what's going on, and not to blindside me." And JASMINA also chimed in and agreed that it should be a private conversation. And even Lindsey jumped in rudely and said, yeah, that it should be a private conversation. So finally, when they get home to their apartment, he told her what he was so upset about. And it was so minor. So, all I can say is there's a dating app that she used to have that it wasn't even active. And she said, hey, it wasn't even active. I had forgotten about it. It's been on there a year or two. I had even forgotten about the app, you know. So if he wanted her to, she would have gladly deleted it because she had completely forgot about it. But I guess he thought that she may have been going on the app behind his back, you know, looking for maybe another possible date or suitor. But no, I think Olajuwon, I don't know about his relationship with his mother or anything like that, but I think he has some abandonment problems, some abandonment fears. I think it's causing him to have problems in his adult life with his present, and probably he had problems with past relationships because of that. But I think he's insecure. I think he has a lot of fears. And right now, I'm not feeling Olajuwon. I have a problem with Olajuwon. And I don't think it would be good for KATINA to actually say yes on decision day to Olajuwon. That's how I feel. I don't think he's the right person for her. Now, I think she would be the right person for him because I think she would make him a better person. But I just don't think that he would be the right person for her. So that's how I feel, my take on this situation, Olajuwon, KATINA.
Episode started off with them and she was making breakfast and wanted to surprise him. So I really see her putting a lot of effort into that. It seems like he really did appreciate it. And it seems like he helped her clean up later. So I don't know I think that his talk is still bigger than what he is actually doing. I think he is helping her and encouraging her. So I don't know why on camera, sometimes it just looks like it's just different than what it is. Because again, this episode, she's cooking and he's kind of helping out with that. I thought it was really cute that she wanted to plan the anniversary trip. And I think that was just like when you have something that you're so excited about and you just really want to do it for that person. So I love her excitement that she wanted to recreate Italy, which I've never been to Italy. So she's been to Italy before and booked them a gondola, because they made a very big effort that you got to say it right. So gondola ride, and it was really nice. And in this episode, Olajuwon made many promises that he just didn't even keep, not even during the episode, which is so interesting to me. He said that he was learning to talk with her and not at her, and that he wouldn't point the finger. And I feel like that is exactly what he did. Personally, I did not have a problem with him looking at her phone. I know some people may have a problem with that because they're like, that's her personal business. Why he looking at her phone? But I think that marriage, you should just be open and honest, and we shouldn't have no secrets. So him looking at her phone, I don't have a problem with. I have my husband's password to his phone. And if I go to his phone and I open it and the password works, that makes me feel secure. And you know, for her to give him her phone and not be looking all over him, I think that shows that she didn't have anything to hide. Because if you really had something to hide on your phone, you wouldn't just let somebody use it and you not pay attention to what they're doing because you think they might see whatever you're hiding. You know, so I mean, that to me should have been a sign that she's not trying to hide anything from you. I think that he said on After Party last week that he is just extra. And I think that this shows that he is just extra. He just goes over the top. Now you're going to question the whole relationship because you saw something that you haven't even asked her about. You know, has she given you any sign? She is trying her hardest. She just planned this beautiful date, you know, and now you're going to go to something that is so minor that it's just ridiculous. I do like at the table that he asked her, do you want me to say it or do you not? Because they were there to get support and advice for one another. So I don't feel like there would have been anything wrong with them having that discussion. They're supposed to be there for support. And I think people only feel like I'm going to support you in the good times, but you got to support people through their whole relationship. So I think that if he had have said it, that the men at the table would have been like, wait a minute, or it's not even like they could have given him some balance between that. And this is so different from last year when Ryan was on the dating app,
Yes.
physically on it, matching up with people. And we have so much on our phones that her explanation made sense. I'm sure that there's still apps on my phone that I have downloaded that I haven't used and I've forgotten about. So I'm sure that we all do that. So the explanation that she gave about the app and why it was on her phone, that made perfect sense. And what I really, one of my pet peeves is for people to think that you should be like them. Well, this is what I did. Okay, that's you. Because maybe you had a couple of them. Maybe you were active on yours, so you deleted your active profiles. But since I haven't been active on that in a couple of years, once I was getting married at first sight, I didn't even think about it. So my thing is going to be different. We're not the same person. We don't think alike because our habits are different. And what really upset me about Olajuwon is he talked to Katina like she was a kid. He said, all I hear is excuses. All I hear, and then he was like, answer it. And like he asked, no, that's what you say to your 13-year-old daughter when you get a call from school that she had played hooky or something. And she's telling you how her friends did it. Then you say, all I hear is excuses. Answer me, answer. That is treating her like a kid. And I'm really surprised about that because I do think that that happens in marriage sometimes, but I think that it happens more when the age gap is wider. But this age gap, yes, they're really, I think Katina might even be a couple months older than him. So I really did not like that at all. And I like that Katina kind of spoke up for herself when she was trying, but he wouldn't let her get a word in edgewise. And then when she said, you know, let the real Katina come out, I'm like, ooh, could you please? Because I want to see the real Katina. If you've been faking to us all this time, then let the real Katina come out. She did say on our after party that what we saw was the real Katina that she was talking about, that she just kind of got heated when before she just kind of let it be a little demure. I still think the couple is gonna make it. I think that Olajuwon needs to try to make this work because Katina is great for him. I don't think nobody else would really take all of this that he is dishing out. I do agree he may have some abandonment issues. I think there's a backstory as to why we haven't seen his mom, and I think that that plays into it, which is why I think that Katina is putting up with this, because when she was talking to her friend Amani, she said that he's a safe place. And that is she's talking to Amani. She didn't have to, nobody asked her a question. She said that she's a safe place. You know, she hadn't been as vulnerable. She's been hurt before, but she feels comfortable with him. So I think that part of their relationship, and on the after party, she said that he brings her little charms for her bracelet, and those things are done off camera. So I think that there's more happening for them off camera, and when he's on camera, he explodes. And you know, that could just be his personality. She could maybe be understanding. We do know he has ADHD or ADD or something like that. So that may play into it. I think that she's a little compassionate for him because she does know the backstory. However, I think that he is going to need to change this behavior in this relationship or any other. But like I always say, you're not going to change overnight. So I am proud of Katina that she is giving him an opportunity, good opportunity, at least 8 weeks of opportunity to change and get this particular behavior under control. So I hope that they can stay together long enough for him to have a different reality so that they can have a successful marriage. I'm still rooting for them. I think that they will make it, but I do not like that he talked to her like a kid.
I still have a problem with Olajuwon's tone and basically the words that he used when he's upset and he talks to Katina.
You make a great point, because even at the dinner table, he said, "This makes me question her character." And it's like, you questioning my character of like who the type of person that I am on something that you haven't even talked to me about? I think that his words, like you said, are very harsh. And I'm not sure if that's intentional, or if I don't know if that's really what he believes. I don't know. I wish I could really understand, you know, how he thinks. And he goes from 0 to 100, and that's just not good in any situation. So,
and I think the word that it comes down to is trust. You know, that's why I'm wondering, you know, about that relationship with his mom and everything like that, because this brother has trust issues. And,
well, he revealed that last week because he said that everybody lets him down. When she did the movie night for him, he said, well, you know, everybody has let me down. So he does probably have an issue with abandonment or let down or people not coming through for him. But I still say that KATINA knows this backstory. So that is why she's being compassionate. Because sometimes when you know somebody's story, you do have compassion for them. Now, we will move on to our yes on decision day predictions. Who do you think will say yes on decision day?
I think JASMINA and Michael may say yes. And I think OLAJAWON and KATINA may say yes, but I do not expect either of those couples to make it past that. So they may say yes on decision day, but I don't think it will go past that. So those are my two picks.
All right. Well, I'm going to go all in this week, and I'm going to say all 4 couples are going to say yes on decision day. I usually do not include Michael and JASMINA, but they have had 2 great weeks, and I'm going to put my faith behind them and believe that they are going to say yes on decision day. That wraps another episode review in the books. What are your thoughts about this episode? Was OLAJAWON just too much and KATINA should hang up her hat? What do you think about JASMINA and Michael? They're on a 2-week winning streak. Will it last? What about LINDSEY and Mark? Will Mark find a new job, or will he allow LINDSEY to support him? And will Noe and Steve ever get over their financial woes? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Now, for the best part of our episode review, fuel you can use, which is a spiritual truth that will carry you throughout the week. Our fuel for this week is inspired by the group dinner, and it comes from Hebrews 10:24 and 25. And let us consider one another in order to stir up love and good works, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as is the manner of some, but exhorting one another, so much the more as you see the day approaching. My encouragement is for us not to forsake the assembly together of one another. We need one another. The Bible tells us that the church is made up of many parts, but together we make the body. So we need each other. And here are some reasons why we should not forsake the assembly of one another. Accountability. We need each other so that we can hold each other accountable to God's standard. Long-lasting relationships. We can build long-lasting relationships within the body of Christ. The Bible says that we are to bear one another's burdens. We can bear the burdens of our fellow brothers and sisters as we fellowship with one another. The impact of intercessory prayer. We can learn the needs and pray for those who are in our midst who need our prayers. For me, I love the body of Christ. I grew up as a church kid where I was at the church all the time and I felt the love of those around me. So if you have been hurt by a person in the church, remember that we serve Christ, and that was just that one person, and it does not speak for the whole. So I encourage us all to find fellowship in the body of Christ. Well, John, that wraps up another episode for us.
That's so right. That is so right. We had a good time, and I'm looking forward to the next time.
Please like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, live with intention. Be intentional.